Hey guys, it's Jeff here once again with Entrepreneur Essentials. We're back after the beginning of the beginning of the year. It's 2018 now, here in January. I'm sitting with my friend Jesse Walls of the Walls Insurance Agency, and Jesse is a commercial insurance agent as well as his wife. It's a family business, and she handles the personal line side of the business.
Right.
So we're going to talk a little bit today about what you need to be thinking about when it comes to your insurance needs, what you need to be thinking about from the risk standpoint with your business, because this is the thing that can come back and bite you and people don't really think about it as much. So this guy knows a ton, has been doing it for over 20 years, so he is a resource and a wonderful resource for all that. Once again, right down below me is our subscription button. Make sure that you click that button and you'll get updates as soon as any of these videos come out. So with that, Jesse, tell me about your entrepreneurial story. How'd you get started?
Well, being in the business for 20 plus years now, 24 now, I had worked for other firms and operations over that time frame, and then like with everybody, we experienced the downturn of 2008, and companies were making changes, and you know, there were mergers and acquisitions, and one of those I was kind of the odd guy out, and you know, I said, if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to do it for myself. So that's what we decided to do back in 2013. Okay. We did own a business prior to that many years ago, and so kind of still had the entrepreneurial bug, and opportunity came, we took it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you started in Florida, right?
Yeah, my career started in Florida. That's
okay.
Where I kind of ended up after my stint in the military, and you know, went down there, started my first few years doing personal lines business, kind of almost like an intern opportunity, and quickly grew into the commercial side of the business, and really haven't looked back since. Worked on everything from small accounts, middle market, to even some large accounts in our space. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about, you know, when a small business is, let's say they're starting their business, what are some of the things that they need to be aware of from a commercial insurance piece?
Well, a lot of small businesses, their biggest challenge that they have is they're a small business, they're not going to have very much premium there, and it's, you know, finding an insurance agent that will even talk to you. That's kind of a big challenge. So, you know, what I encourage small businesses to do is, you know, you kind of got to pick up the phone, make some phone calls, and engage some agencies, and try to have that meeting face to face. You know, whenever there's a face to face meeting, it's always better. And be prepared. I tell people, you know, the insurance underwriters are underwriting the risk, and the conversation you're going to have with them might kind of mirror a bank. You know, what's your business plan? What's your experience? You know, how long have you been doing this? What your underwriter's going to want to know, because if they're going to put some risk out there, they want to make sure what they're putting out there, the person in the business really has an idea of what they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, that said, all right, now I'm starting to talk with an insurance agent. What are some typical questions, or what are some typical things you're going to want to know from a business owner standpoint, or from an insurance agent standpoint?
You know, the business owner needs to think about a couple of things. You know, what is his product or service? Yeah. Need to think about that. How are you delivering that product and service? Or is it going to be with employees? Is it going to be with independent contractors? And understanding that risk. Have the agent, you know, maybe talk to you a little bit about why underwriters feel the way they do. They really like the employer-employee relationship. Ideally, we know that's not the best business model for the business owners. So it's really just you asking your agent maybe, okay, what is it that would concern the insurance industry for my business? And then maybe the agent can help guide you through the steps and processes and the procedures to set up So it makes your business a little bit more attractive.
Yeah, and I think that's what people don't necessarily understand, that you're there to help them be successful because
Right.
you're trying to protect the insurance companies you work with. And
Right. And we're trying to help them protect their balance
Yeah.
sheet, right? I mean, something happens and you don't have insurance, then you're paying for it out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
And those dollars could be used for something else. Whereas if you do have insurance and an accident happens, if your policy is structured the right way, yeah, you don't like to have a claim, but it's nice to know that when you're paying for something, the claim is going to be covered, and your assets, your business are protected, and you can continue to move on, continue to grow your business. We don't like claims. Nobody likes claims, or I mean, we don't like claims. Nobody likes them to happen, but we're prepared for them.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
Understand your business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What are some of the common mistakes when you see somebody coming in to you? What are some of the telltale signs that you look at and say, wow, this is something that you need to be concerned about that wasn't covered?
I would say especially for small businesses, small business owners, they may not have commercial vehicles,
Yeah.
But they do have maybe a couple of employees, and you guys would be a perfect example. So Michelle might go out and run to the bank or run and do something
Or
on
networking
behalf
events or
networking.
whatever, yeah.
Hired non-owned auto. So when your employees are out doing things that are representing the company, if there's an accident, the company could likely be held liable, whether they're at fault or not at fault. That's not to be determined. But what I tell people, if you don't have that hired non-owned auto endorsement, then you don't have the coverage. And if you don't have the coverage, then the insurance company doesn't respond. So a lot of small businesses, I see the hired non-owned auto portion of the coverage missing. And then the other thing is crime coverage. That's employee theft.
Interesting. Okay.
That's the other one that, that employee's been with me for 20 years. I've never had a problem. And then you get the phone call one day that employee has embezzled $50,000 or $60,000 over the past 20 years, and I've had those claims. So I think the hired non-owned auto and the crime coverage are two that I see small business owners really don't think of.
Yeah, and they're not ridiculously expensive either.
No,
I know
no.
when we added to our policy, we added the hired non-owned auto. It might have added $100 a year.
Yeah, it was very
I mean, it's
inexpensive. I think it was
ridiculous.
$150 a year.
Yeah.
for you guys.
So I mean, it was nothing
Yeah.
to add it.
And it's based on, how many employees you have and your type of business. So there's really not a set number. I've seen it go from, like you, $150 a year. I've got some clients that are paying $400 or $500 a year. Some that are paying $1,000 because I've got a lot of employees and a lot of people driving out there on behalf of their company.
Yeah, just more risks
Yeah,
that are out there.
more
But
risk,
I mean,
yeah.
even that,
Yeah, at
for
the end of the
$100
day,
for a year.
at the end of the day, if you have an employee that gets in an accident and hurts someone or destroys someone's property, or God forbid, kill someone, there's a death in an accident, at least there's dollars there for the insurance company, A, to defend you, which is usually a large portion of the claim, and then B, if there is some type of liability, there's dollars there to pay out the
At
liability.
least it's covered, and you don't have to toss it onto the
Correct,
employee's
correct,
insurance.
yeah, you
and
don't, exactly.
run into those
Yeah.
situations. So tell me a little bit about maybe some new things that you're working on in your business. I know you and I have had several conversations about some of these. So.
As far as
Well, I think with the brewery stuff.
yeah, for us, you don't want to get pigeonholed into just one or two areas of expertise, but you can't be a jack of all because you'll be a master of none. So over the years, there have been a few industries that either I've taken to because I had some knowledge around that space, or the carrier or a company I represent has come in and approached us about, hey, here's an industry that we have a lot of expertise in. We're really trying to make the business environment more aware of it, the business owners more aware of it in these industries, and go after it. So again, this year for us, breweries, distilleries, wineries, all of those, we have a very specific underwriting team out of Des Moines, Iowa, that is all they do all day, every day.
Wow.
Yeah, great group of people. Part of our ag team, and I know that kind of sounds a little bit different, but it's agriculture, you're growing
Similar,
things,
yeah.
you're manufacturing, producing, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be fun too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a cool industry, especially here in Austin.
Yeah, it's a growing industry here in Austin. You know that how big it is, but it's really a growing industry nationally.
Yeah.
There's any time you travel, I was just in Denver, and it's the same thing going on there. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, we were just out in Fredericksburg last Friday,
Yeah.
Eric and I, and we were literally that 290 the last time I was there was probably 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was totally different.
Oh, it's totally full
nothing
of
but vineyards and distilleries
and
and
breweries
everything
and
now,
everybody's, absolutely.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good. Let's talk about the fast 5 questions.
Okay, sure, let's go.
So you wake up in the morning, first question. You
Yep.
wake up in the morning, business is gone.
Mhm.
You have a laptop computer, $500 in your pocket, food, place to live. What would you do first?
So the business is gone, and I would be doing this again.
Okay.
I'm not at a point in my career where I try to reinvent myself. I understand this business really well. So this is a business that I feel like if something like that happened, I would be very prepared and very well positioned to kind of get back after it and do it again. And that kind of happened after the 2008-2010 time
True.
frame. So.
Yeah.
Was at one place for over 10 years, and then you wake up one day
Then
and
that
you're
place
out.
isn't there
That place
anymore.
isn't there anymore. So
Yeah.
what I'm doing, if you ask me, is there a different business I would look at? Knowing what I know, would probably be the fire and water restoration business.
Interesting.
It's a really very good business to be in. It's competitive and tough, but it's a business that I've always been interested in.
Yeah, and seeing it from another side of the
Exactly.
coin, you
Exactly.
get to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your biggest business mistake, entrepreneurial mistake.
My biggest entrepreneurial mistake was probably not doing this for myself 20 years ago. I think a lot of entrepreneurs would say that. That was probably, I don't know if I would call that a mistake more than just not pulling the trigger, not being willing to step off the cliff.
Yeah.
Things happen when you have a family. And then, I guess I would add up a lot of small to medium ones to make it a big one, but I don't know if I've ever felt like I've had that big mistake from that standpoint. But like I say, it's just not jumping out and doing this earlier.
Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah.
I was kind of in the same boat. It was just,
Yeah.
it just seems like
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
that guaranteed paycheck coming in.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do this. And,
Yeah, I had a good book of business. Life was good. Wife, 2 kids, so you didn't want to rock that boat. But in retrospect, I would rock the boat next time.
Well, and I mean, it worked out well
Yeah.
because you and Sherry now work together, and
And we don't kill each other.
And you don't kill it. Well,
Exactly.
you have a door between you. So
Exactly.
that works out pretty
That
well.
works well.
So tell me a little bit about a book that you would recommend for an entrepreneur.
And off the top of my head, I think it's The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team.
Okay.
If it's not that, it's somewhere in that realm. And it's one of those books that as a small business owner, and really any size business, but really as a small business owner, you find yourself getting off track with your staff or what's going on or what we're here for.
Yeah.
Kind of the TED Talks are why. That's been a book that I've picked up and I've read a couple of times, and just as a reminder, I like that one. And then, I know it's a simple and it's another quick read. It's The Art of War for Salespeople. It's just, I like stuff to stay simple. I don't want to be too complicated.
No,
So,
it doesn't need to be.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I love books that are super thin because it means
Yeah.
that person has had to work extra hard to get their information out, and they don't have a bunch of fluff.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
And I know
yeah,
both of those
to
are
the point.
super
Right.
simple and to the point. So what's a good tool that you might use in your business? And this might be an Evernote or something along those lines that you might use every day.
I use LinkedIn
Okay.
pretty much on a daily basis.
Okay.
And we use Facebook. Sherry kind of runs the Facebook side of things. LinkedIn for me is where the business owners are at. That's kind of the social networking site for businesses.
owners, yeah.
And we have a nice dashboard that allows us to drive what I hope is thoughtful content to LinkedIn. And we have some pretty good results. We've actually found ourselves being engaged by other business owners and other businesses due to that.
That's fantastic.
Consistency of making sure you're there. Not too much, can't be too little,
Yeah.
but you got to kind of get that right feel. And it took a while to get that machine kind of running the right way, but we feel like we're doing a good job of that now.
Are you seeing some conversion out of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yes, we are. We're starting to find people that found us there.
Okay.
as a result of
Great.
maybe some conversations or some dialogue that was happening there, and after that there was a follow-up phone call
Okay.
or email.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're about the first one I've heard that, people I think are starting to realize the power of LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
I think for the longest time I saw it as just a place to connect with old colleagues, and now it's becoming more of a social, feel. People were using Facebook for a while, but I think people have now said, okay, I'm tired of seeing the political views
Right.
of all of my all my friends.
Or the latest hamburger or restaurant adventure or something
Yes,
like that.
exactly.
I think the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook is almost, the responses are instantaneous. And the feedback is like almost instantaneous. With LinkedIn, I came to realize that it was a process. And it was laying groundwork for probably a good year
Okay.
before I felt like we were getting something out of it. But, we feel pretty good at what we're doing there and the results we're getting. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, how would somebody get a hold of you?
Oh, it's real simple. You go to thewallsinsuranceagency.com.
Okay.
That's where you'll find our contact information for personal lines. You'll see Sherry or Adriana, commercial, myself. Go to T-Werx website.
There you go. Over here.
Over here, or just kind of hit that magic box on Google and just Google the Walls Insurance Agency, and you'll find us here in Cedar Park.
Fantastic.
All right.
Well, Jesse, thank you very much. Appreciate this. This, by the way, folks, is the second time we've done this interview because something happened with the first one, so we were even more brilliant this time.
Yeah, we broke the camera.
Yes.
All
So
right.
thank you, my friend.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, guys, have a great day. Once again, right down below me is our subscription button. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you'll get updates. You'll see this one coming out here sometime on a Tuesday, and that's usually the day that these things get published up onto our YouTube page. So be coming back here every week. We're back from our holiday break. You'll see at least one or two of these per week going forward for the rest of this year. I also want to say that one of the things that I'm going to be doing here in the next 2 weeks is one of my New Year's resolutions this year, which was I want to read 30 books in 30 days. So I'm going to be doing really short, very quick book reports on all the books that came out of these interviews over the last year. So taking a lot of the books that people have talked about on the show and reviewing those. So that's my challenge. It'll start in 2 weeks, so keep your eye on the YouTube channel for that and our Facebook page, and we will see you here in another week.